Hey programmers, this is Eric, and we're going to take a look at our application here and look at routes. So this is a continuation. If you don't know, check out the previous videos. You can see we're creating an application here, and we're just going over some of the basics in these first few videos. So the first thing to know is you can see here is our website, my new website. And if we go back into our Vim here, we can take a look at how we create it so far. So far, we only have this app view, and the JavaScript file is the view model on it. And it's really simple. And then we have some environmental settings, and then we have the main, and this is like the main entry point to the application. We're not going to change the main for right now, but what we want to do is we want to have our application have a home, which will have its own view and view model. And we also want it to have an about page. So we're just going to add 2 for right now. So to do that, let's go ahead and just do some copying. So I'm going to copy this, make an about.html, and I'm going to copy this. I'm going to make it about.js, and we'll make a home one as well. So we'll copy this, we'll copy this again, make it home.html, and we'll copy this again, and we'll call it home.js. So now we have about.html, about.js, home, HTML, home.js. So let's go into the about. So right now let's just delete it out. And just so we know it's working, we'll just do an h1 tag, we'll call home. And we'll make sure the class we're exporting is home. And we'll delete the constructor. Oops. This isn't about, actually. About. This is about. And we'll go to home now. Now this will be home. And we'll go delete the constructor. We'll make sure this says home. Okay, good. So that looks good. So now what we need to do is we go into our app.js file, and we're going to go ahead and paste some information. I already have it down here, so I'm just going to copy and paste it all. And then I'll explain what it is. Okay. So before we save it, we'll change this to my new website. And so what this is telling us is that we have some new configurations set aside. We can use something called configure router, and inside configure router is where we put in everything we need for our router. So we set the title of it. Now this config.options.pushState, what this tells us is that we're not going to use the hashes, that we're going to actually use kind of the pretty URLs, and we don't have to really deal anything else with that. Config map, creating a new route. This is the actual path, the URL path. So if you just do this blank space here, this means that it's the default. We could have an alias. So if we did something like this and put home, what that would mean is that you can either go to the URL without anything, and it would bring up the home view model, or you can go to /home as well. But we don't need to do that. So we got the route. The name is used in different parts of the Aurelia navigator or route. So this is the name you would use it. And module ID is for the view model. So it knows that we're looking for the home view model, and you can actually put in a path in here if it's not in the same directory. And then nav equals true, that it should be included in the navigation. We'll use the navigation later. And then you can also set a title. So set a title to the home page. And if you want more information about this, you can go to Aurelia.io and just go to the doc hub. And there's a whole section on routing, which goes over this in more detail than what I'm saying right here. And then we have the router here. So we'll save that. Now if we go back into our HTML, what we want to do is we're going to add a place where this will show up. So we have to add in router view, and we'll close the tag. And this is where our view and view model will show up. Is this in this router dash view? And we are going to add some links so we can get to each one of these routes that we just created. So we can actually pass in the router using router.bound to router, so it's available in the header. And so if we go back to our resources, go to elements, go to the header, now we can, let's delete a couple of this, let's just add an about page here. And there's something which is called route href. And this is special to Aurelia, and basically this, you can put in the name of routes and any parameters that you want to pass in. But for the sake of simplicity here, we don't have anything we're passing in. So we'll just route home. Actually, we'll do route about. And then we have a home link, so we can do the same thing here. We'll make it a route href. And we'll put route home. So let's see if that works. Okay, so you can see once the page loaded, now we see our h1 tag for home, because if you remember, we looked back at our router, the default route for the home page is this home, so it's going to load what's inside this home.html and use what's in the home.js. So now we have an about, and it moves back to the about route that we created. If we click home, it goes back to home. So that's it. That's pretty simple. That's all we wanted to do in this one, is just to show you a quick sample of how we do routes. In the future videos, we'll take a look at setting parameters and some little bit more complicated things regarding that. If you have any questions, leave in the comments below. Thanks.